Welcome to another episode of the Do Hard Things Weekly Wake Up. Hey, just a heads up, we're having a little technical difficulties this morning. You might hear some feedback. I don't know what's going on. We've been trying. We're a few minutes late because we've been trying to iron it out, but it just is what it is. We can't just not show up, so we're just going to roll with it. So be patient with us. Tom, how are you doing, brother?
I'm playing the I just lift what I was saying there. I'm good. All good, man.
Yeah. This is so weird. If you're listening to us, do you hear like the audio being kind of odd and off? This is weird because it's like so echoey. I don't know what's going on.
Somebody send in a comment and say this is messed, or hey, this is an A-OK.
Oh boy. Well, this week the topic is grit. And, grit is passion and perseverance. And we're persevering this morning, even though the conditions may not be optimal. We were talking about, we're not just going to not show up. So we're just going to have to push through it anyway. So.
Showing a lot of grit, man. And we got to hurry up this done before I get onto the first table and have some grits.
The grits. Yes. Someone said the audio is weird. I don't know what else to do about it. So we're going to press on anyway. So I don't know, Tom, what do you think about the topic of grit? How has grit improved your life?
Oh, dude, man, my whole life has been grit. If you define it by passion and perseverance and wanting something so bad that you're going to do anything you can to get it, no matter what the obstacle, that's to me. And
is there anything in particular that you pursued with passion and perseverance that made your greatest contribution in life thus far?
Dude, I'm supposed to be nobody. My dad was an alcoholic. I was a bum. I was laughed at school. I wasn't supposed to achieve anything. So having kids laugh at me, having to buy clothes from the bargain bin, my life has been grit. Trying to prove to myself that I'm worthy enough to contribute. So that's my testament, man. It's just got to believe in yourself, persist, and pursue your passions no matter what, because we're all capable of it. How about you,
Tom?
Jay?
I hate to do this, man, but you're coming in. You look like Max Headroom. You remember him from the 80s? It's so choppy that this isn't working. I don't think anyone's going to get anything out of this. Hey, give me just a second. Hey, Lacey, are you listening to this? Is it bad? Yeah, it's bad.
Okay, run it on your own.
I hate to do this.
What's that? Run your own, and I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. And I guess if you bounce off here, I'll see if it's any different. Okay. I'll shoot you a message. Let me see.
Yep.
Okay, test. Is this working? Hey, Lacey, is it working now? It's better now? Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, I think Tom is down in Costa Rica, and I assume that there's probably some audio internet connection difficulties with where he's at. So I guess I'll just Mad Lib this and do it solo here. So it's unfortunate. Well, Tom is incredibly gritty. I pride myself on being gritty. In fact, I think there's a great book on the topic of grit called Grit. Okay. And it was written by Angela Duckworth, and her definition of grit was passion meeting perseverance. Now, the only thing I would challenge on that is sometimes you're not passionate about the things that you're pursuing and you still have to get through it. And so I don't know that passion always has to line up with what is it you're trying to do. I think about some of the pursuits that I've had in the military, maybe some of my assignments that I had. I wasn't maybe as passionate about it, but it was the mission. It had to get done anyway. Because it benefited the organization or the soldiers, and you have to press on anyway. But that is her definition of what grit is. Another great resource, and if you haven't read this, I had Colonel David Fivecoat, retired, on my podcast. It's called Grow Your Grit. And what I love about Angela Duckworth's book Grit is that it's a really good read on the topic, but it's more academic based. Where Colonel David Hackworth or Fivecoat, Colonel Fivecoat, talked about this book is more of a guide, if you will, that gives you action steps to take from a man who has demonstrated grit throughout his military career. And it's a short read, but this is a quick reference book that I leave on my desk, and I'll reference it from time to time. It'll, breaking down SMART goals and vision and mission and how to incorporate courage into your life. So, but at the end of the day, when I look back at where my successes were in life, it was taking on challenges that required a lot of energy, sustained energy and effort for a long period of time. It took a level of perseverance. And grit is something that can be cultivated, and it doesn't matter what your socioeconomic background is. It doesn't matter what resources you have or don't have. It doesn't matter your sexual orientation, the color of your skin, none of those things. Because grit is really all about rolling up your sleeves and putting in the work. And anything worth a damn in life is going to come with some challenge, and it's going to require some level of grit or tenacity to see it through to the end. And people are always asking me, like, Jay, why are you out running? And why are you doing these long distance running events and things like that? Well, it's me working that grit muscle. And I think that's why, the case for doing 75 hard and going to the gym and doing P90X, or, I'm training for a 100-mile race. I want to see how far I can push myself. And when you put yourself in a controlled environment to develop your grit, it translates quite nicely to any other aspect of your life. And so I think grit is incredibly, incredibly important. And it's something that we all should try to be working on in some capacity, whatever that is for you. And it doesn't have to necessarily be like physical fitness. It could be, that's why I think disciplines like playing a guitar are powerful, because it takes a level of daily discipline to master that. Maybe it's a martial arts. There's a variety of things where you can work on your level of grit. Playing a guitar when your fingers hurt. I don't know if you ever, I have played guitar a little bit, and you get to that point where your fingers hurt, but you got to keep playing so you don't lose it. There's great lessons in that. And I think it's a powerful, it's incredibly important to put yourself in those positions to work and develop your grit. So, and grit's showing up. Like, we're not on our A game today because we had a lot of audio issues, and but there's some passion and there's some perseverance for persevering anyway, despite the fact that this show this morning kind of went awry. So it's all good. Trying to think about grit has enabled me to so many different scenarios in my life where pursuing an advanced degree, especially when I think about working on an MBA. I'm not very good at math, but it was the sheer determination of, hey, I need to see this through to the end for a couple different reasons. For my career, because my kids are watching, because I've committed to it and I put a lot of energy and time and resources into it. And I had to work incredibly hard, and it took an incredible amount of perseverance to see that through to the end. And I just knew that if I worked hard and I leveraged other people to help me, coach me and guide me through some of these classes and shore up my math deficiency, I was able to, see it through to the end. And that's why I think college education is more of a crucible, if you will, to see what you're made of, because there's so many different classes, and it's so time consuming, and it's such a time consuming endeavor that it shows a lot of grit and determination. So if you're listening to this, what do you think about the topic of grit, and how has grit improved your life? How has grit improved your life? Think of something that you have accomplished in your life that had any form of meaning. And what were the sacrifices that were made to see that through to the end? And how did that improve your life? And is there something that you're working on now or that you'd like to pursue that's going to require a level of perseverance? What would it mean, and how would your life change if you saw that through to the end? What would that look like? And how can you overcome some of the obstacles to get to where it is that you want to go and what you want to achieve? And so oftentimes if we can identify a personal reason why we want to do something, the bigger reason why is it necessary and how our life will change, then that will enable us to get started. And then when you're going through that lofty pursuit, when it gets difficult, grit is showing up and doing the thing when it gets hard. And that's what we talk about, doing hard things. Well, the difficulty of that endeavor, and when it gets hard, is where grit comes in, because you need to persevere and push through when it does get difficult. It's easy to say do hard things. It's easy. We saw a lot of people in our group last year when we did 75 hard. The reason 75 hard is so difficult is because you have to do it with a level of consistency. And what I've learned is that, about 65 of the days are actually relatively easy, but there are about 10 days that are incredibly hard. You're traveling, you're not feeling good, but you got to show up and do the 5 tasks anyway. And that's why I love that particular exercise, because, most days are pretty benign, but the days that are life-changing and life-altering are the days that you don't want to do it and you do it anyway. That's where you grow. And that's where grit comes in. And that's how you develop your grit. Because we can say do hard things all day, and it's a nice mantra, and a lot of people like the idea of it, but it actually requires you to do the hard things when you don't want to, whatever that is for you. So, all right. Well, this is a little awkward this morning, not having Tom here to bounce ideas off with. And I'll be honest, kind of off my A game a little bit. So it is what it is. And so what I think we're going to do here, I'm going to share with you our Do Hard Things weekly spotlight winner. If I can get their photos up here, give me just a second here. Usually Tom will buy me a little bit of time here, but I'm doing this in real time. So, hey, we're going to persevere through this. But this week's winner, I've identified someone that's getting out there and proving their grit on a regular basis. Where do I share my screen at here? And I apologize, ladies, because we had all sorts of issues this morning. But hey, this morning, can you guys see this is Danielle Farr and this is Brianne Braddock, and they together completed a 50K over the weekend, Shawnee Hills Trail Race. And I know Danielle. I don't know Brianne, but they are friends and they completed this together. I know Danielle. She's a gritty person who is always out there. She's running. She's active in the CrossFit community, and she's always working on herself and making herself better. And she had her friend Brianne there with her this weekend and that's what we need. We need people that will go on these lofty pursuits with us and push us outside our comfort zone. When things get hard, you got someone to lean on. So you guys are this week's Do Hard Things spotlight winner. So we appreciate you guys doing hard things, demonstrating to the world, role modeling the way for others that you can do hard things. And 50K is 31 miles. And this was on trail. So when you think about, there's a big difference between doing 50K on flat pavement versus single track trail. So the photos were incredible, and you can always find Danielle out doing hard things, and I'm assuming Brianna is the same. Congratulations, ladies. Thank you guys so much for demonstrating what grit looks like, and congratulations on your achievement. You are ultra runners, and so congratulations. So, all right. With all that being said, it's time to get through the rest of the week here, and so. In your life, where can you demonstrate grit? How has grit improved your life? What in your life needs a little perseverance, passion, and determination? And what would that mean for you to see it through? And, there's a couple things that you can do. When you have a lofty pursuit that you want to execute, you got to burn the ships. You got to let the world know what it is, because you're going to have that extra layer of accountability when people are asking you about it and you put yourself out there. 2, you got to have people around you that are going to support you, like Danielle having her friend Bree to do this endeavor with. When it gets tough and you've got people that are supporting you, clapping when you win, you're not going on the journey alone. That's important, and that could be through friends, family. Maybe that's a coach and a mentor. That's what I do when it comes to high performance coaching. You need a tribe of people, that team of support around you. And then you need to remember, why is it necessary? Because when things get hard, when things get incredibly hard and you want to quit, and you want to tap out, what you have to do is remember why you started in the first place. So if you key into those three things, that will enable you to sustain grit and perseverance through anything that you're working on. And the more that you practice developing grit, when life happens and life gets challenging and tough, your ability to persevere increases significantly. But if you don't develop it and you don't practice it, then you become soft. And then your chances of actually doing things that are worthwhile, that are difficult, that you're going to fail. And what that does over time is it erodes your confidence. And so I think the topic of grit is important. I think it's something that we should constantly pursue and get after. And one of the easiest ways is really picking up a discipline, like, playing guitar or learning a martial art, or, with consistency, discipline of the routine of exercise and diet, nutrition, because those things are not easy to do. Maybe it's pursuing an advanced degree or something like that. Those things are incredibly important for our growth. So, all right. Hey, if you didn't know this already, not this weekend, but the following weekend, 10 September, we have the Do Hard Things 5K and 9.11 mile run and ruck. We're doing it in an awesome location up at Cooper's Landing. It's worth the drive. As a runner, it's one of the most scenic areas in Missouri to go run. And what I love about Cooper's Landing is it has a campground. They have beer. We're going to have a food truck there. And it's going to be for a tremendous cause. We're supporting Operation Do Hard Things, which is a new nonprofit that we just launched. And the intent is to create retreats and high performance coaching and resiliency coaching for law enforcement and military veterans who are finding their mission beyond service. And that's what the funds are going to be raised for, so we can host events for those individuals. And up in that area, there's not a lot in regards to honoring 9/11 and remembering, the tragedy that happened that day. And it's just a way to get out there and enjoy each other's company and, get after it a little bit. So it's going to be a great event. We have a virtual option, so you can run, walk, or ruck. Ruck is, walking with a weighted backpack. And you got a 5K option and a 9.11 mile option. We're going to have an awesome medal. We got some great shirts that Lacey designed. And so we hope to see you there. So if you're interested in that, go to dohardthingsnation.com, dohardthingsnation.com. Look at the events tab and you can register there. And if you're looking to take your life to the next level, you want to be a part of we talked about having connection in that tribe of people. We have the Forge group coaching mastermind. We meet up twice a week. We have our weekly accountability meeting, and then we teach high performance topics. We have great conversations. It's a great way to talk about life, connect with other people, don't do life alone, and some methodologies and some supports that are beyond what you're probably typically used to. This is a goal-crushing community where we focus on accountability and achieving our goals. So love to have you there. If you're interested in that, reach out to me directly and we can get you set up there. Aside from that, that's it. We got this podcast will drop, and apologize for the issue we had this morning, but hey, we persevered anyway. And I hope you dominate the rest of the week. And that's it. In the meantime, keep doing hard things. We'll see you guys in the next episode.